boy, have I got some good news for you. We are about to get up out of this Japan, and we are going to the Philippines. It is like 11 o'clock now. Our flight leaves at 1:30 a.m. So it's nighttime, which is very strange for coming to the airport. We don't normally do that. And we'll be landing in Manila at 5:35 in the morning there. So an overnight ride. We're kind of getting used to those, and they seem great. Getting here to the airport, we're at Haneda. We're at I feel like we're in first class of just airporting. Like, not even on the airplane yet for first class. Haneda is first class for just airporting in Japan. I don't ever want to go back to Narita, even though it's got cheaper prices. But we're at Haneda, and we're getting ready to check in. We rode the monorail here, which is fun to do during the day, but since it's the nighttime, we did still get to ride sideways, which was fun. I tried to braid my hair on the train. It didn't go well.
I'm just waiting to see where this goes.
Oh, just keep talking?
You remember the lights you were excited about?
Oh, it's Christmas. Pretty. As all good adventures start, we are in a taxi, and we are in Manila. We landed maybe a little less than an hour ago. We've hit the ATM. We'll have to show you the money later, because you gotta be classy. You can't just be flashing it around. And we've kind of taken the cue of the taxi driver as he locked the doors once we hit traffic, because people are just coming up to the windows and trying to sell things. It is already exciting, and I haven't even done anything other than negotiate a taxi price. That's all I've done today. But that was exhilarating. So, we're on our way. We're in the Philippines. We've got our hotel. I guess we'll make a video of that later. We kind of just went in there and just sat there staring at stuff for a while. I've been up all night, and Eric got a little bit of sleep on the plane. Did you get sleep?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. We've basically come to the Philippines and immediately gone to a Turkish restaurant. It's not very authentic, but that's okay. We trusted Lonely Planet in hopes that it will serve us something delicious. And we've got falafel and something that I just asked the lady what her favorite things were, and she served us her favorite things. So one of them, we don't know what it is. It's this guy right here. No idea what it is, but I put it on some bread. I can see the cilantro.
It's got a salsa looking vibe.
Not spicy, no kick, like just wholesome and springy. I would almost say springy to the flavor of that.
Would you say it tastes Middle Eastern? Turkish, like when you think of Turkish food?
Not yet. I feel like maybe if we mix it up a little bit, there might be some juices in there that I'm missing, but right now it kind of tastes like a salad that some friends in Japan made for me recently. So it's not bad. It's not bad by any means. We also have falafel. And if the bread was any indication, it was steaming hot. So I'm gonna break open this falafel. A little bit of steam was coming off there.
You just going in dry, man? You gotta dip it.
I'm not going in dry. You can't dip it and then sniff it. Oh, there's tons of little bits in there that I am terrible at getting out. You can't get this in Japan. I didn't know you could get this here. It's really, really making me miss Amman. We had so much falafel while we were there. It was just ridiculous. This is not the same. It's not on the same level, but it is so reminiscent that it's just perfect. It's what I needed right now. So we're gonna eat, and then the rest of Manila is waiting for us.
It's like what, 8 o'clock?
Yeah, it's 8 a.m. Well, maybe almost 9 now. Keep going. All right, well, we ventured a little bit closer to Filipino food, even though we're at McDonald's. We've gotten a Filipino style suite, and that is the peanut butter McDrip. It's stuck on there. If you remember, like back in the day, this is what Dairy Queen used to do with butterscotch and stuff.
Is it peanut buttery?
It's everything I dreamed it would be. It's like the inside of a Kit Kat bar. No, of Reese's Pieces. Oh my gosh, it's like Reese's Pieces are filled with ice cream. It's really good. But another thing to note about McDonald's here in the Philippines is behind me, you can see the McGriddle sign. And I love McGriddles. I don't eat them very much anymore, but I was so in love with them when they came out in America. And they just came out here, I guess, because it says they're new, and they're not like anything special. Just seems like they're new, and that people here are getting to enjoy McGriddles for the first time. Lucky, 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 and lucky.
Manila has got a train system, and it's like an above-the-ground train system that goes over their crazy cities with their crazy traffic and everything. It seems a little crazy in itself, because while they give you like a digital card and they have like turnstiles like a normal train system would have like in like Japan or America or something like that, it doesn't seem like people have got like a charge on these cards. So there's a big line of people that are buying single-use cards. So they're gonna, every time they're gonna get on this thing, they're gonna have to wait in this long line, and then they're gonna get onto the train, and then they're gonna go to wherever it is they're gonna go. But like, why don't they just use one of these for 1 month or something, and like you charge it up with 10 trips worth, and then you don't have to wait in line every time? Is that, maybe that doesn't work here? I don't know. It's really confusing. But it seems popular because there's a lot of people on the train, and the trains that have stopped have had a lot of people come off of them. I'm excited to get on this train and see what the experience of being on the train is actually like. It doesn't go everywhere in the city, so there's still a lot of reliance on all of the other transport methods they have, like buses and jeepneys and like tuk-tuk looking things, and like there's like a huge variety of things that they can use. But maybe this is like the main strip of the city or something? I don't know. We really don't know anything about where we are.
The train was quite exciting. We got on and there were a ton of people. But one thing we noticed as we got on is that I was one of the only women on the train, or the car that we were in. Apparently, it sounds like really kind of like modern meets ancient. Like it feels like a really old train, but it looks like an advertisement for Coca-Cola. It's really strange. But when we got onto the train, I was the only woman in the car. There might have been one or two others, but it was jam-packed with men. And we had also noticed that the car in front of us was females only. So it was kind of a striking feeling to be stuffed in with all these guys and just sit there like, okay, this is normal. Why are all the other girls over in that one car? Do they have a real problem? Yeah, I see you doing the grabby symbols. No groping happened. Everything was fine. Eric might have gotten groped by me, but the price of the ticket, I think we were on there for like 15 minutes. It had to be like 7 or 8 stops, and it was 50 cents, which was awesome. And there was one other thing I wanted to say. What was it?
That's cheap groping, girl.
Cheap groping. That's where you get your gropes for the cheaps. Yeah. Oh, I figured it out. What was amazing was that when the seats became open, the men in the car actually turned to me and asked me if I wanted to sit down. So it felt like a little bit of chivalry is still in this society, even though the ladies feel they need to be in a different car. We've been walking around this place called Our Papa, and we went off at the wrong station, so we've really been wandering trying to find a cemetery. And we found the cemetery, but you kind of have to break into the cemetery. So we've been wandering around and people are giving us like, go this way, go that way, go this way, go that way. And you kind of wonder, are we going in the right direction? We just went through a cage. There was a cage that we had to step through to get in here, and we don't know where we are. But we found the internet. How much do you put in? One? That's yen. That's not good. Okay, so there's this stream of computers just sitting on the side of the street, and I just talked to some very cute girls and traded them some money, very nicely and irresponsible on my part, but that's fine. And they gave me a 1 peso. It says peso. It's a peso. And so you put it into the machine, and you got 5 minutes of internet.
It's really turning on?
It's turning on.
And it's got like a timer, yeah?
I got a timer.
And
I can watch Justin Bieber if I want to.
Are there speakers? I think there are, yeah.
Yeah, I think they were playing music before.
This is amazing.
It's awesome. Oh, what should we play? Dempa. We're bringing a little bit of Japan here to the Philippines. We're just gonna leave it playing. Just go Dempa. Go Dempa. How much is 1 peso? It's like a quarter of a penny. I kind of feel like we've just stepped into a very different world, aside from the thumping bass. The block party behind me is really ramping up for the evening. It's like 12 o'clock. It feels like it's 9 p.m. We found the cemetery that we're looking for. It's actually a Chinese cemetery, and it is so very different to everything that's around it. There's tons of Chinese characters all over the place, and everything is very simplistic but ornate. If that makes sense in some sort of way where, like, it's very beautiful and it's very well done, but it's not overdone. And I noticed the grave behind me has been opened and someone has lit a fire inside of it. And it smells of a fire, of something. And it kind of creeped me out. That's not cool, guys.
This Chinese cemetery is really big. Like, it covers like what seems like blocks and blocks and blocks of area. And it's like mausoleums, basically, just one next to another, next to another, next to another. So like both rows of this is just mausoleums for people. And the impression that we have is that like rich Chinese families have built these for their ancestors, of course. And like some of them have got like amenities in them apparently. Some of them have like running water and hot water and cold water and air conditioning and toilets and like stuff like that. And like I can believe the air conditioning. Like this one looks sealed. Like this one next to me looks like it's like got glass and stuff. So maybe the inside is temperature controlled. I don't know. Like it's kind of weird. I've never seen anything like this before. It's really kind of like shocking.
Eric says this kind of feels like a village where everybody just died, and it kind of has that feeling like at the beginning of the last Indiana Jones movie, that neighborhood where they were going to do the test and everyone.
You pop that off the top of your head.
Off the top of my head. That's what it feels like here. There's no one here that's prime for a testing of some sort. That sounds terrible. But there is a little bit of livelihood going on. This rooster lives here. They've got him chained up outside. I don't really know what they need with the rooster.
He wakes people up in the morning.
Man, they be super sleeping. Lay an egg. Are you ready to smell something incredibly amazing?
Yeah.
Sniff.
Oh my god.
Seriously?
Really strong smelling.
What is it?
It's a flower.
It's a flower. I'm like sitting here trying to figure out what candy is that. Candy is just based on flowers, Katie. I've been decorating, and I can't give this one up. This one is mine.
You got to, man, because there's only one spot left.
It's not this one. I must keep this one. It's this one. Rest in perfumed peace. Oh, yeah. I didn't expect to see things like this. It looks like somebody actually came here and had like some sort of explosive to exhume whatever was inside of this. And I slowly creeped around the corner here. We're not in anybody's, we're in an alleyway, so don't think that we're trespassing on anybody's sacred ground, because we wouldn't do that. But I was definitely compelled to come over and see what was inside, and I didn't know that was part of me, but I had to. And then there was also this one over here, and I had to come over here and see what was inside this one. And I just walked real slowly, and there was nothing inside that was scary, but it was like a bit of a scary movie for a moment there. We need water. We have bottles, and they have a big machine for purified drinking water. So you take 1 peso. This is equivalent to 5 minutes of internet, and you put it into the machine. And now you have water. This is nice. As you can tell from the noise and the visual behind me with this jeepney going by, these are called jeepneys, by the way. We've come to a new area, a new cemetery almost. This is called the Northern Cemetery, and it is kind of like the friend of the Chinese cemetery that we were in before. The Chinese cemetery was really relaxed and deserted almost, it felt like, but this neighborhood is very lively and energetic and lived in almost. You can almost just feel that it's alive more than it is dead as a cemetery, which is really kind of a strange thing to think about a cemetery. And the mausoleums that they have in the Northern Cemetery have, they're striking, they're big, they're noisy, they want to attract your attention, and many of them, as we found out, we made a friend when we came in here, a guy that works at City Hall here in Manila, and he told us that there are 4 or 5 presidents that have been buried in here, and he kind of gave us an explanation about, oh, this one died in a car crash, or in an airplane crash, and there's this president over here and that president over there, and he kind of scolded us because we didn't know our history, and yeah. We don't know the history, but we can definitely appreciate the drama that is in this area. It's quite different to the other area that we were just in. As we rode the LRT, we saw this gigantic market out the window, and I immediately was like, we must get off the train, but we didn't get off the train because we were heading towards the cemetery. So from the cemetery, we've walked directly to that market, and I've already downed a whole bunch of coconut drink, which Eric has warned me that might not have been a good idea. Please don't hurt me. I'm hoping that goes well. And I also bartered on getting a bag. And I needed a bag that is a little more steel-proof. The one that I'm carrying right now is really just a crappy bag that is easy to slice open. This one will give me a little more protection, and it'll allow me to carry our laptop. And the guy initially asked for 150, and then the guy behind him told him, no, 180. So he brought it up, and I tried to haggle him down. I only got them down to 170, so that's kind of a bummer. My bartering heart was broken, but I've got a bag. I guess 170 is around, it's less than $5. It's probably around $4. So it's a pretty good bag. I think it's gonna last me for at least the week.
You think it's
the trip, sorry.
You think that's the authentic Nike jams?
I definitely think that this is authentically Nike. $4, it's really impressive. Thank you, Nike.
A lot of people, when they heard that we were going to the Philippines, asked us to go into like convenience stores and see what's going on with the 7-Elevens up in here. And the 7-Eleven that we just went into, we've only been in one, so maybe they're not all the same, was a little ghetto. Like it felt more like a bodega than it felt like a Japanese 7-Eleven. Like there weren't like these delicious meals and stuff like they have at Japanese 7-Elevens. But they had a Slurpee machine, which is something that's really rare in Japan. So, I mean, you gotta weigh your pluses and minuses. Something else they had was Doritos. We have Doritos in Japan, but even the nacho cheese Doritos taste different than American Doritos. So I wanted to find out if these are American style or Japanese style, because it's a Japanese store, but American product in the Philippines. And where's it gonna go, you know? So I already opened them because sometimes it can be hard to open chips, you know? And I smelled them and I'm thinking it's American style, which is something I haven't had in years. The Filipino Doritos are American style. Katie got something interesting though. Something else that we have trouble finding in Japan.
I love root beer, and we've been to a few places and I have tasted what they call root beer and it ends up being not that great. So I'm gonna give this one a try in hopes that this mega drink is good. Okay, the smell is on point. That's root beer. Oh, wow. It's American Day, wow. Nachos and root beer, this is great.
So we rode the train again, and it's kind of rush hour now, I guess, because it was like really, really packed. So they've got it like Japan style, like when you see like people getting pushed into the trains, they've got a similar thing going on, but the people here don't know how to minimize their body space as much as the Japanese people do. So it's like there's less people per like square inch inside of the train car, but it still feels very, very packed. And a big part of the difference is that it's like 1,000,000 degrees here, so it's really dank in there. Like it's really like sweaty and nasty, and like I was in the man's car and it was just nastiness. But Katie, on the other hand, opted to ride ladies' car.
I have the required equipment, so I rode in the ladies' car, and the first thing I noted was that it smelled quite nice. And so cute. And the second thing that I noted was that it felt very soft. Like everybody was talking and chatting, but not loudly, and nobody was really pushing, and if they were pushing, they had a big smile on their face because they were trying to get in with their friends. And that was not happening in the men's car. So, women's cars, primo.
I'm gonna be shopping for a dress this evening.
We've come to Intramuros, which is something, I don't know if my pronunciation was like very good on that, I'm not sure.
It's a long word, man.
Anyways, we've come to Intramuros, and it's like a fortified city, and we haven't learned much about it today because we're actually going to come here tomorrow, but the visitor center has a very cool building that it's in. It's housed in bomb shelters that they used to use during World War II. And you can go into one of the bomb shelters and actually watch a movie that tells you like about the situation and how things happened in 1945 and how they've come so far from that. And they really have. This place looks pretty phenomenally different from then, and it looks pretty great. Being inside the bomb shelter, they had a really good audio situation, which made it really sound like bombs were falling on the bomb shelter, so that was really cool. Nice job, guys.
We're in the part of Manila still that is inside of these big castle walls from way, way back in the day, and there's a lot of like Catholic stuff in this area. There's a church, and I think there maybe is like a Catholic university or something. Don't quote me on that, but I'm just kind of, I got that vibe. We've come to a restaurant that normally we wouldn't come to because the menu has got like 1,000,000 things on it. Like, that's usually like not our thing. Usually we want to find some place that like specializes in one thing that's like super incredible. However, in our guidebook it says that this specific place, nuns help cook the food. So we were like, that's very interesting. So we decided to come here. And it says that there's a mixture of like Italian food, and there's a mixture of Filipino food and different Asian cuisines and stuff. And looking through the menu, some of the things I noticed, there's a lot of Thai food in here. Filipino food I know like nothing about. We've been here for like 12 hours and I have learned barely anything at all yet, but hopefully at the end of our trip I'll have a better handle on it. So when I see Filipino food, like I'm not like, I don't even know what it is. Like I have no idea at all. So there's apparently Filipino food in here, and there is also, I noticed, there's a Reuben, like a sandwich, a Reuben. Now, this was really hard for me to not get the Reuben because I love Reubens and they're really hard to find in Japan. But I went ahead and I chose something that was more in line with what we have been told is Filipino food, and it is called chicken abodo.
Oh, you got it backwards.
Adobo.
Yeah.
Adobo, chicken adobo. And I really don't even know what I'm getting into, but it's served on a plate, and on the side will be a rice dish. And there's a lemon on top, and that's a good sign. So I've got a piece of it down here, and we're gonna see what is going on. Somehow I've ended up with 2 spoons.
A knife and a fork.
Okay, so I am going to rip off a little piece of this chicken and see what I've got myself into. So this is apparently a national dish of Filipino food. Like it's like one of the things that everybody talks about. It's like their version of sushi or something like that. Like, you know, when you think of their food, this is what you think of. Okay. It is sweet, surprisingly sweet, very succulent. The meat has absorbed a lot of the juices, like it's maybe cooked, like stewed for like a long time. It's damn good. It's really good. So it's sweet, and there's like some lemon in there as well. So it's kind of, dare I say, like a sweet and sour sauce, like what you would think of with Chinese food. It's not the same thing, but it's got that like where you get both of those like accents together. It's very, very good. I will put some of the sauce onto my rice as well, because this rice, this is not Japanese rice. Let's just leave it at that. It needs some help. And also, I ordered a banana smoothie. And this is, and I'm like a banana smoothie connoisseur. This is like one of the best I've ever had. It's fantastic. So yeah, this restaurant though is a little expensive. It's really kind of classy in here, and there's like lots of like there's like a cloth napkin. Like this is some to-do stuff. Like it's really uppity. So we paid a bit of money for this, but it was still, I think my meal was, I don't know, like $5 or something like that. It wasn't horrible or anything. Now Katie, on the other hand, has gotten something interesting.
All right, well, one thing that I wanted to mention is that in this menu, this towering menu, each of the meals has a different name, and has a different name that is inspired by religious figures of the Catholic Church. My meal is called His Eminence Ricardo J. Cardinal Vidal. And that means that you get this. And this is oxtail kyde. And I'm saying that with a Japanese pronunciation because it's kyde. I don't know how else to say it anymore. And I don't really know what kyde is. I know that it's a tangy sauce that the oxtail has been in with some vegetables on the side. They also brought some shrimp paste to put on top of it. I am stunned as to what this is, so I'm just gonna jump in.
So like, what we're trying to figure out, do they mean oxtail, like the little dangly bit on the back of an ox, or do they mean like the rump?
There's bone in here. I can feel bone in some parts. I don't think there's any bone in that part, so here we go.
I don't know, dude. Oxtail? It's got some hard cartilage or something in there.
It's fatty with little bits of meat, and the sauce has kind of like a peanut taste to it. Almost like somebody sat there and squished a whole bunch of peanuts and made a paste out of it and added it to something. It's not even tangy, it's really peanutty. I'd say that I like it. I've done a lot of peanutting today, because we had the peanut butter McDip.
Yeah.
Or McDrip. They call it the McDip is much better. And then there's this peanut guy. And I'd say it's really good. I have a feeling that yours is gonna be better than mine.
Did you just eat the tail of an ox?
I did.
What do you, I mean, it's like, do you think it's like the meat of the rump, or literally like the tail, like the dangly guy?
I don't know. It's a part of an animal that is tasty. We saw Christmas lights at Haneda Airport, and they were glorious. Oh, I really enjoyed them. But Christmas lights on a budget, like a national budget, sometimes you might have to tone things down, and I have found that this is toning things down, but at the same time it looks so cool. They've used a little bit of Christmas lights, which gives this alleyway this ambiance of just warmth, and then they've used all of these rainbow pieces of, I assume they're just pieces of paper, or maybe plastic. They could be pieces of plastic since it could rain or something like that. And they're just kind of flowing with the little breeze that's going by, and it's just gorgeous. I don't know if they've done it, this is here all the time, or if it's just for Christmas, but this might be some of my favorite Christmasing ever.
After dinner, we were in a part of the city that's quite a ways away from our hotel. And we went out to this main street. It was like madness, like tons and tons and tons of traffic, and just like, it was crazy. And, but there were no taxis, and there were no motorbike taxis. There were no like obvious, easy transportation methods. But in the Philippines, they have something called a jeepney, which is basically like an old school, like US military jeep. And they've taken and stretched it like a limo, right? And made it like a truck in the back with benches that run along the insides. And you just sit on the bench and like people jump on and off while the thing is basically moving. It stops very briefly and you just jump on, and then everybody gets, you know, you get on and you ride to wherever you're gonna go, and then they yell something and he stops briefly and they jump off. And in between, all these noises you're hearing is these things driving by the way. So, while you're in it, the way you pay is it costs 7.5 pesos, which is like, I don't know, it's so little, it's nothing. But everybody just gives him 8 because it's too complicated to deal with the change. I don't know why they don't just make it 8 pesos. But anyway, so you get on, and then like as soon as you get in, you just hand your money up the line, and people take it and hand it up to him. And the driver is like driving along, and he's making change while he's driving in this hellish traffic, and then he's handing the money back. And like, I saw a girl hand him essentially what was like $20 worth of money, and then like he made change while he's driving, and then he sent all this change back, and it went down, back down the chain and everything. So it basically works in the honor system. Like, you can easily get on there, not pay the guy and get off, but everybody that got on paid him his 8 pesos. It's really, really cool system. It's wild. It was really exciting. It was probably the most exciting part of the day, maybe.
Our first jeepney experience was with Soldiers of Fortune.
They all have names.
Good morning, we're traveling as the locals do. We're hanging out in a jeepney, going not fully across the city, but a good bit of a ways across the city. And we don't know when we'll get there. We don't know where we are, so hopefully we get off in the right place.
This sign is this jeepney driver's enforcement policy.
From one mode of transportation to another, we're now in what we're calling a trikeshaw. It's basically a guy who has strapped like a rickshaw to the side of his bike, and he just powers through our fat.
We got our bag with us and everything.
Yeah, he's taking us from one side of Intramuros to another side of it, and it's quite a hike. We did it yesterday, and it felt like it took forever. So we've got somebody whose navigation skills are probably much better than ours, and he also has wheels. So I think this is the right choice for right now, because I don't want to walk all the way. It's like almost 12 o'clock now, so the sun is bright up in the sky, and oh my goodness.
What did it cost?
It's hot in Manila.
What did it cost?
It costs, so far, 40 pesos, and I think that we'll probably be in here for a good 10 minutes.
It sounds like $1.50 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, and our bag is here and we're white, so that seems like a fair price.
Yeah, it's good enough for me.
We've come to a restaurant for lunch that is kind of like what they have on the street, or like little shack type restaurants and stuff, only in a really nice environment. It feels like, I don't know, all Catholic up in here. I don't know, like it's just like these big open rooms, and there's a lot of people here, and
I want to point out There is a Casa Bonita feel in there.
Yeah,
it is so Casa Bonita. Yeah. It's really strange.
It feels a lot like Casa Bonita. Yeah, like there's gonna be cliff divers.
I can hear a fountain.
Yeah, there's like a waterfall or something. And the way that this works is that it's kind of like a buffet, sort of, but it's not all you can eat. Like everybody, when you come in the door, you stand in a line and you choose from like the random buckets of meat and stuff, and you just like point at it, and then they give you a plate, and then at the end they tally up how much of that stuff that you ordered, and then they give you a price. And it ended up being under 400 pesos, which is under $10. I'm not good at this number yet, so it's not super expensive, but we did get quite a bit of food, and I ended up getting a drink as well. So I basically just ordered a bunch of meat, and I didn't realize this really until I sat down and looked at it. I was like, man, I got 3 of the same thing. So hopefully the flavors of each one is going to be individually interesting. I'm going to start here, at pure random.
That was the one that everyone was ordering.
Yeah, this seemed really popular, which is why we got it. And I'm believing it's pork, and other than that, I know nothing. Barbecue. Tastes like barbecue. It tastes like... Yeah, it's barbecue, man. Like completely, straight up. Almost like American style barbecue. Not like A1 sauce, but like slow cooked pork barbecue. It's got a sweet flavor, there's a little bit of onion in there, and it's cold. First thing that hits you is that it's served cold. Let's see here. Let's go with this one. I think it's also going to be cold because it came from the same department. And I'm guessing the last one might be warm. So this one looks like it is spicy. There's definitely an oil in there that looks like it might attack me.
What meat? Beef?
Beef? There's definitely something fishy in there. Maybe.
Oyster sauce?
Yeah, something like that. There's something fishy. Not bad. Not my favorite flavor. Man, yeah. It's just a fishy undertone.
I know what I'll be eating.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. It's not horrible though. And the last one, this came from a different area. This is why I think maybe this one might be warm. And I think she referred to it as beef sticks.
Beef steak, I thought.
Beef steak? Oh, okay. Well, it's kind of stick shaped, so maybe I made that up. And so I'm guessing cow. And it is also cold, I already know that. That's good too. The onion flavor is really strong, and there's also maybe a lemon or something. It's a citrus, orange or a lemon or something that's cooked into it. Yeah, these two are good. The fishy one is probably good. I just don't like the fishy part. But that barbecue is really amazing. I'm really surprised at that. Katie's selection is a little bit more diverse, however. She went with
diverse. You got meat, and meat. I also got meat, but it's more of like a crumbly stir fry of peppers, and she said it was really spicy. And I also got a kabocha kind of salad.
What sold you on that?
I'm gonna start with the kabocha salad.
What sold you on the kabocha salad?
The kabocha.
There's shrimp in there.
I don't see any meat. This might be the only thing without meat.
Wait a second here. Who's this guy? That's a shrimp, right?
Oh, yeah. He's still got his shell on. Crunchy. Great flavor. Wholesome tasting. A little bit of kick to it. It's got a little bit of spice. It tastes like all the vegetables had been stewed before they were actually put into it. Like it has this deep flavor, which is really good. All right, I'm gonna go for the spicy. She said it was spicy, so I'm assuming it's really spicy. I don't know how Filipino people feel about spicy, so we're gonna find out now. Flavor when it hit my tongue, almost like a sweet ketchup, but not like a bad way in ketchup. Like, that could sound bad, but it's not bad.
Is it spicy?
It's not spicy. It has less kick than the kabocha. It's tangy as hell, man. Wow. But I really don't know what meat is inside. I have no idea. And it's kind of just like a bit of stuff. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that's just stuff. Take a good look. I'm pretty sure I can see liver and other things. I know what I'll be eating. It's like a new phrase for lunch. And whatever you won't eat, I eat.
You're like the trash can.
All right, well.
Oh, I also got this.
Coconut time.
This coconut drink. It's like a huge, huge coconut drink. And a lot of people have it. It's kind of boring. Katie has since had a piece of the meat that was a fishy flavor to me. And now that she's told me what the flavor is, I know it's very strong. I don't know how I didn't realize this before. It's crab. They somehow cook crab flavoring of some sort into this beef. I don't know if I've ever had crab and beef like together before. It's not bad. It's just kind of, it's a little fishy. I like crab though.
You trying to get over this?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna have it. It's not horrible, but it's.
What am I gonna eat?
You're gonna eat that funky thing over there with the baby liver.
It also has squid in it.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Right on. We forgot to make a video talking about the hotel we stayed in last night, and the hotel it's okay. It was clean. And the people that work there are super friendly and super nice and were very helpful. However, it was kind of expensive. It was almost $20 a night for this room. And it's definitely a hotel that's geared towards Western travelers, so I'm sure that the price is somewhat inflated because of that. But for $20 a night in Southeast Asia, like, you usually would get a lot more than what I feel like we got out of this room. This room was just like a room and a bed. And that was it. There was no aircon. There was a fan, which is nice, but it was clean. But there were some bugs. There were some bugs moving around, and just kind of ignored them. And for $20, I guess I usually would expect to have a shower in the room, but this was like dorm-style showers where everybody shares a shower. It's supposed to have warm water, but doesn't. So it's not a big deal because it's so damn hot here. But it seemed a little expensive. That's my only gripe. At least the people were really nice. That does help a lot. That balances out quite a bit. And they had like a balcony as well. Yeah, the balcony was nice. It was okay.
I don't really know what this is showing, but we're gonna play the calendar game nonetheless. We're in like this giant cathedral, and there's a big touch screen on the wall. Should probably figure out what it's doing. So, Eric's birthday, April 17th. She looks like she's dying.
That's a dude, man. Look at that beard.
Oh, I saw a woman like this.
You saw?
Okay, so maybe he's drunk.
Okay, yeah, what have you got?
He looks drunk. And his name is Anicetus.
That's a pretty good name, man.
Alright. June.
Yeah.
The 11th.
Alright.
Barnabas. I totally won on the name
you
front.
won that one.
Yeah, check me out.
Yeah, it's pretty badass.
I'm an Adonis.
Okay, so we've mentioned this area a few times. I'm going to try to explain kind of more what it is. This is called Intramuros, I think. That's how we're going to pronounce it, Intramuros. I apologize if that's wrong. But it is essentially a walled-in city that's inside of Manila, and it was built here, I believe, by the Spanish, like way back in the day, as a fort. And at that time, I guess they would have, like, the Filipino people lived in a certain area, and then the Spanish people lived in probably the rich area, and then there was a large Chinese population that also lived in a certain area, and it was kind of segregated, but still, I believe, all within these giant walls. They're big, they're like 6 meters tall, 4 meters wide, that go around the whole city. And the perimeter is about 4.5 kilometers, so like this is a pretty large area. And I get the impression that maybe way back, that was sort of what Manila was. Like, it was this inside area. And nowadays, it's like really expanded outside of that. In this particular region is kind of, people do live here, and it does seem like there's residential areas and stuff that are like legitimate, but it does seem a little on the touristy side too, like it's more of a tourist attraction, kind of sharing duties with that residential area, but it doesn't feel like the rest of Manila, which is just like insanity. So inside of here, because of that Spanish influence and stuff, there are a few different churches and a lot of architecture that looks like Spanish architecture. And this church that's behind me here is an element of that. It is a Catholic church, and we went inside, and it's really churchy inside, you know? It's really big and huge arches and stuff like inside, like arched ceilings and things. And there's a lot of stained glass windows and stuff, like very normal Catholic looking stuff, and it's a very nice church. The bummer about this church is that it's been destroyed like 8 times or something, like multiple times from earthquakes and different things. And most recently in World War II, the Japanese had occupied this area, and essentially towards the end of the year, or end of the occupation of the World War II, the whole area was completely destroyed. And apparently there's one other church that's in this entire area that wasn't destroyed, and everything else like was just destroyed. A lot of the walls were destroyed, and they've since rebuilt it all. So this church was actually rebuilt in like the 50s or something, but on the grounds that it sits on has been churches for hundreds and hundreds of years. They also said something that's kind of interesting, that out front of the church, where this is now like a little square, this used to be a bull ring, so I'm assuming like Spanish bullfighting. Am I just making a leap with that assumption? But that's what it said. It said a bull ring. So I guess like people would go to church and then stab a bull. I don't know, but it's pretty pleasant now. I don't see any death happening. Went into another 7-Eleven for a drink. And this 7-Eleven was a lot nicer than the one that we went in before. I think maybe the first one we went into was a little bit sketchy, but we're still not up to like pristine, like king-style Japanese standard 7-Elevens, but it was all right. They have a lot of drinks that are things I've never seen before, like lots of different fruit drinks and stuff. It's not just Gatorade and Snapple, even though they do have those things. So I grabbed something that says, it specifically says, said Filipino flavor or something on it somewhere. I can't find it now. But locally blended juice drink. I mean, local to what? I guess the Philippines, because there's a map of the Philippines in the back. And it says it's kamias, and then it says below here, bilimbi fruit. And I don't know what that is at all. So that's why I got it, because I'm completely clueless on what I found. So the colors are lighter on top, and if you look on the bottom, it gets a little bit darker. So I'm gonna shake it up. And there's a child that's trying to steal things from us right now. And now he just wants money. It's really hard, because what do you do in this situation? Like, it's a kid, but if you give them money, then they know it's okay to beg, and then they grow up begging. And like, why aren't they in school? It's really complex. Like, I have a lot of really weird feelings about it, and all I want to do is drink my drink.
Yeah, and he was going after your fruit snacks that were in your bag, and it was really weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
You held your cool in the video there pretty well. I was surprised.
So anyway, let's see what this tastes like.
That kid's now touching me.
He's now touching your coffee. Ooh, this is like astringent.
I did not hold my cool very well,
No,
sorry.
You didn't. So the flavor is like kind of astringent. It's a sweet flavor. I could not tell you what fruit it is though. I don't think I've ever had that fruit before. Are you familiar with that when I showed it to you?
No, that name doesn't ring any bells.
Yeah, it's good. I would get it again. I thought it was gonna have like a tea flavor to it, but it really doesn't. It's just like straight up fruit juice. It's all right. And then also, I got some frutos.
And these are like, people are stealing these off of you, so they must be good.
To take these from me, because they were just sitting on my bag. Okay, so this is like a little fruit chew. It looks a bit like a raisinette. There are no raisins in there. Ooh, oh damn. Oh damn, that's really good. It's like a Starburst without the waxy stuff. It's like the pure Starburst flavor without all the extra crap.
Can I get a yellow one?
You can get a yellow one.
Yellow one's the best.
Here you go.
It's harder. So starbursty.
The flavor is like really good.
That's good, but it smells like sewage here, so I'm chewing and then I breathe in. Wait, it's making a really, really weird cocktail. I needed this smile. Also, I needed to see this amazing building. These streamers, we saw them last night that were hanging in the street and they just looked so cool. I didn't imagine we'd see more of them today, especially in front of this gorgeous church, this old school church, this resilient church. I just think the shot we're making right now is beautiful, so I'm just gonna give it a second. Take it in, people. I like it. I can't even see it. I'm gonna turn around and look at it later. You can enjoy it now. Anyways, this church is the only building that wasn't taken down during the Battle of Manila that happened close to the end of World War II. So this is the only like surviving guy that was here that can tell you the story of prior to all the destruction that happened during the Battle of Manila. And it looks pretty amazing. I want to get close up. I'm gonna go touch it. I don't want to run. I'm so easily enchanted. I'm thankful for that.
Me too. Walking down the street, we found a snack that we've actually been looking for like 5 years since we had it last in Thailand. And it's when they take ice cream and put it in bread.
Now, in Thailand we had the ice cream hoagie. I am naming this the blizzard bun. This is the blizzard bun. Oh, thank you. So, I asked her what ice cream was in here. Look at the color. Can you in any way like guess what flavor this would be?
Maybe banana.
Do you
maybe
know?
Mango.
You know.
Oh, I know.
You just giving out ideas?
Yeah.
It's cheese.
Lime.
What flavor do you think this is?
I don't know, lime, maybe like a watermelon or something.
Could be apple.
Apple.
It's avocado.
What? See what's up.
Definitely avocado.
You just hit both of them at the same time. You just ate cheese avocado, ice cream, and a sandwich.
I don't even know where to go with that. It's got like that Turkish ice cream feeling, like that texture where you know how they do the Turkish ice cream and they pull it up and it has like elasticity. This has that elasticity.
Man, ice cream in bread is amazing. How is the bread?
The bread is really good, and that's what's distracting from the flavors because the bread tastes so good. The avocado is a big standout. The cheese, it's kind of a subdued thing, but the two together and the bread are just phenomenal. I am a fan.
Let the boys be boys.
Slam! I didn't slam.
Slam!
I don't think that we've said it enough. It's really, really sunny, and we're about to go into the blaze. I think we've chosen the worst side of the park. It's a park. Of the walled city to be on at this time of day and for the purpose that we're going on. We're about to go up on the wall, so prepare for the sun. Come on. It's bright. I'm gonna melt in like about 5 minutes. 5 minutes of living, then you melt.
Man, it's bright. So now we're standing on top of the wall that encircles this walled city that's here. And you can see it goes like a long way and then it turns and it goes around, goes around the perimeter or whatever. But you can walk almost all the way around the top of it. And there's like little interesting places along the wall, like where there's like cannons and like little areas where they built things out over like entrances and gates and stuff, where it's obvious that if there was like an invading force, they would be able to use that to like, shoot down at the people that are coming through. I guess that's not so useful for modern day warfare, but back in the day, it was probably a really good idea. Back in the day, the city was like protected by a series of moats and like locks and things like that around it. These days, they've changed it just a bit, and it's a golf course.
Yesterday we went to the visitor center here, and I just picked up all of the pamphlets that I could, and the one that I saw that intrigued me the most was the one that had a picture of this on it. I was like, holy crap, it looks ancient and it looks real, it looks interesting. It doesn't look like, oh, you know, we rebuilt this and revamped it and rejuvenated it and it's wonderful. It just looks like it's crumbling and it's just gonna crumble some more. And I don't know what it's called, and it's really hard to pronounce. It's like, hold on, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try it, okay? Baluarte de San Diego. I don't know what that means, but it means that this looks awesome. It's in the southwestern part of Intramuros, the walled city, and it seems like it's supposed to be keeping people out. It looks big and bulky and just ready to fight, but it's not keeping people out. I mean, the British got in, the Japanese got in, we're in here. It's not working, guys. Are you taping already? I'm just stretching it. I thought you were looking at the thing for a reason. Oh, shit. Okay.
What happened, Grandma?
No, you know my hip's not good anymore. Oh. I do feel like a grandma. My hip is hurt somehow, and I don't know how. It's not muscular. Everybody's gonna go, it's muscular, it's not muscular, something's wrong.
How do you do this?
Yeah, yeah. I like that you're not stretching anything, you're just moving your arms.
Alright, what happens? You do it like this?
Yeah, that looked great. Just.
Which hand is the dominant hand? How do you know?
I'd have to come over and push you to tell which one's your dominant hand.
This foot went back. What does that mean?
It means nothing because you did it to yourself.
Okay. Alright, so then you run?
I didn't do any running.
You didn't run? You didn't win?
Yeah.
Like a wheel?
Yeah.
No, you took some steps. I saw some steps.
Alright, well then step.
Alright. So then like this, and then like this. Yes!
I'm impressed.
Did it look good?
Yep.
Felt good.
You're going to the Olympics.
Special Olympics, maybe.
We were walking along the wall last night in a different area, which was really cool because we didn't know what to expect from Intramuros when we got here. And once we got on that wall, you just kind of feel like it's a very ancient area. Not ancient, it's post-ancient. I think that's probably a good term.
It's not now.
That's not now. It's not modern. Okay?
So you're saying
I am just introducing words.
You
okay?
are ancient with that hip, and I am post-ancient with my wicked cartwheel skills.
Yeah, your wicked cartwheel skills are taking over. Anyways, on the wall they've got all these bricks that they've put on top, and the bricks have actually been stamped with a date, but we both found it very hard to figure out what date they were trying to emphasize, or even why. Is it 1981? Or 1861?
Alright, we're walking around and back inside this fort, and I found something. Katie doesn't know what it is. See if she can figure it out. You got your eyes closed?
Yeah.
You got your hand out?
Yeah.
Alright.
Have I encountered this before?
In your life?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have.
Do I get to cup it?
I mean, you can, yeah, I mean, guess. What do you think it is? What is your...
Like a nut from a tree, or is it natural or man-made?
Man-made.
Oh. Is it something you found just a few moments ago?
Yeah. It was just moments ago.
Man-made. Is it a small cannonball?
I mean, I guess in a way it could be, but that's not its intention. Go ahead, give it a cup.
It's a golf ball. Number 2.
So inside of the walled city is a little tiny walled city. It's a fort. And it kind of seems like it's in the very back corner of the walled city. So like normal access to somebody coming in would have come from the far side, and then all had to make it all the way through the city before they get to a moat that then crosses into another little walled section where the fort is actually located. So I'm guessing this is probably where like the upper ups probably were located. And it did say that on some of the signs that like the US military has used it in the past, and the Japanese used it when they were here, and it's been used for like many different reasons. So now it's just a tourist place, and we're gonna check it out and see what's in there. The surrounding area is kind of like a nice little area, like with like green gardens and like kind of a peaceful, relaxing thing. And I kind of get the vibe maybe the inside of this fort is now, which is completely different than what it's been used for in the past.
I found another flower. It smells, if not better, just the same. I got you hooked.
They smell pretty good. We're at the side of the fort that is like farthest from the walled city. I don't know really how to explain the geometry on this. And it is
the geometry?
Yeah, the geography. Well, it's just geometrical. These things are shapes. It's like the shape of a square city and then a not squared, interesting shaped fort. That's the geometry.
There's definitely a rhombus happening here.
So you can see that it butts up against a river, which I guess back in the day is another good way to keep people from invading your fort. So wise decision to build it here, certainly.
All right, well, the people here at the information center were kind enough to hold my bag for a couple of hours today while we walked around, but they're closing now, so I had to go and get my bag, which makes those stairs a little bit harder because Gerber, aka the fat bastard, is here with us now. I actually wonder if he is heavier than I am. I really do, truly do wonder if he's heavier than I am.
Here, hold this. Okay, now you are holding literally everything we came to the Philippines with. That's it.
Do you want to hop in my arms? Maybe
like,
we can really portray this?
That's everything.
This is it. It was it was kind of astounding when we left, and it was just like, okay, 1 bag, 2 bag, 3 bag, that's it. But we've kind of gotten to this point that we just go, okay, we're not gonna need this, we're not gonna need that. And I'm wondering what we forgot, but after the first night, I don't really feel like we've forgotten anything other than golf balls. But we found those, so I'm feeling kind of surprised that we can do this with such little baggage. Talent. One of the names that we've been reading a lot in our guidebook and random museums and things like that is Jose Rizal, and honestly we don't know very much about him, but he seems like such an incredible character, and we're calling him a national phenomenon. And I'm using the word phenomenon both to explain that he was obviously an outstanding person, but it seems like people have pushed him up a little bit higher than he actually was when he was alive. So he's become a bit of a phenomenon in many ways. From what we've read and what we understand, he was massively intellectual and was a doctor, and he did things to better the country. And I think that's why he has stuck so much into what they think about their country and why they like him so much. He kind of got caught up in a rebellion at some point, and that basically meant that the people running the country at that time didn't like him, and they took him out. We're starting the journey of his execution right now, here in the fort, and you go from the fort to the park. They have a Rizal Park here, and that's where he was executed, and we're gonna kind of take that journey right now. While Dr. Rizal was awaiting his trial of rebellion and several other things, he was held in a cell in a building here in the fort. Once he went to court and they had determined his death sentence, they brought him here, and he was imprisoned in this area for about 25 hours. They told him at 6 o'clock in the morning, you're going to die tomorrow, and at 7 o'clock in the morning, they took him out of here, and he started walking to his execution site, which is in the park that we're going to go to in a moment. But one of the really interesting things that the visitors or like the tourism board has done is they've taken bronze footsteps and put them throughout the fort so that you can see essentially his last walk. And we're gonna walk that and solemnly take in all that that is. When you're walking the path of someone's execution, what food do you opt for?
I think that the food that I have opted for at the moment is cotton candy.
Do you think on Rizal's walk that
I'm
he
just
had
thinking
cotton candy?
that if he was like all for like the good of the people and like all of those things, that he probably would be wanting me to enjoy some cotton candy. Like, you know, like I didn't think about it when I got the cotton candy. Let's just put it that way.
As the sun is setting, we've taken the walk from the fort to the park, the same walk that Rizal took on his last day, which makes me kind of think, like, I don't even know what I'd be thinking during that time. I have no idea how he must have been feeling. So we're standing in the park and it's dedicated to him. It's quite a peaceful park, aside from the traffic, but I think the traffic is kind of part of this city. Like, it really gives the city its soundtrack. And then aside from that, it's just a very loving city, and it really comes out in this park. Everyone is just hanging out, enjoying themselves with their friends, with their families. So I think it's quite a nice end to the day of sightseeing and whatnot. I really wish we'd gotten more time in Rizal Park because I think there's more to do here, but it seems like a really nice place so far. That's probably the coolest store we're gonna find here in the Philippines. We've come to the Hobbit House, which is I assume that it's owned and operated by little people, and that means that everybody that works here is little people. And it's just amazing. You come in and the guy on the street trying to get you into the place is a little person, and the person serving your drinks is a little person, and everybody, aside from the customers, are little people. And they're very welcoming and very, very excited that you're there and happy. I decided that I'd get I tried to look for something that was at least like themed towards little people. I don't know if that's mean, but I really wanted a little people themed thing. So I looked in the menu and they had a drink called the Flaming Frodo, which said that it was some sort of vodka that they lit on fire, and then you're supposed to take them, once they light it on fire, then you count to 10, and you take the flaming guy and you put it into your beer, and then you chug it all. And it was exciting.
Drink. Straight.
Thank you. Did you happen to catch that my hand was on fire? Wow.
We're hitting up what I'm assuming is a Filipino fast food restaurant, and I believe it's called Mang in Seoul, but who knows, you know? So it looked like a chicken joint with like Filipino style chicken, so I figured, hell, let's give it a go. So we ordered it.
Thank you very much.
This is what we got here. They brought me some chicken on a stick, yeah, and some rice, and is that a bitty little lime?
I think it's a bitty little lime.
Do you just eat what do you do with it?
I think you squeeze it on the chicken.
It's sliced.
Squeeze it on the chicken.
The top is broken off, but it seems like there's like something on the outside. No, it's just the skin. The skin has got those little speckles on it. Okay, so I'm gonna just assume that you put it on the chicken and line up the chicken. There were more seeds than juice up in there. Did you see all those seeds?
I saw them.
And I don't know if you just eat it off the stick or if you pick it up. I'm just gonna do it like a barbarian, fuck it.
I was looking around to see if anybody else was doing it. I did not do a good camera job there.
The people there didn't react really weird when I did it, so I'm assuming. Hey. It's alright. It just tastes like barbecue chicken. Like, it's not a wildly strange flavor to an American palate. Like, yeah, it just tastes like somebody, like, you know, your uncle just barbecued some chicken, and then there's some sauce on there that I'm not quite sure what is, but it's very wholesome feeling. Like, it tastes perfectly fine. Katie, on the other hand,
Always, on the other hand.
yeah, this is how these go, isn't it? These discussions. Katie, on the other hand, has ordered something a little less. It looks a little less like American. Let's put it that way. So let's have a look at that. What did you think you were getting into when you ordered this?
I thought it was going to have a bed of rice and on top kind of a seafood-esque orange orangey sauce thing.
So you were mostly right,
I
except
think I'm mostly right. I also got the little guy that you got, so I'll get to squeeze him on top. And some eggs over here. This is, I'm assuming tuna, because it was seafood. It showed much bigger shrimp on the picture. The sauce is a little more gelatin than I had imagined,
and the rice.
It's on noodles, so I was really wrong about that, but we're gonna squeeze out this guy. Lime is not a flavor I've had in a while.
Yeah, it's hard to find lime, man.
It may not exactly be lime, but it's on the line of lime. There's a kid outside doing parkour stuff. It's pretty kind of cool. He's like 6. Okay, so...
You're gonna do it like pasta?
Yeah, I'm doing it like pasta. I'm gonna get that one shrimp in there. It just tastes like lime to me. I feel like maybe everything in it really wasn't that exciting. Definitely tuna. It has a weird crunch that I don't think it's supposed to have. I'd say it's pretty boring, but it's something that you don't normally see on a fast food menu, like this kind of weird, like, crap on top stuff. It wasn't a hamburger or fried chicken or barbecue chicken or whatever, so that's why I went with it. You make a gamble, sometimes you win. I'd say this was edible.
When you don't need a taxi, there's a zillion people jumping out of the woodwork to give you rides. But when you need a taxi, it can be kind of hard to find. It's kind of a strange paradox. So here we are, waiting for a taxi, and check this out. Check this out. This is the taxi I'm looking for. This guy right here. He actually wants to give us a ride, but not as far as we need to go. So we didn't find a taxi, but we found a motorbike that's like the version of the bicycle thing we were on earlier, but this guy's got an engine. So we're scooting along now, and we'll see what's up, right? It's kind of fun, kind of dangerous. The driver is not that interested in laws. Like, over there is the traffic we're supposed to be in, but this is the side we're on at the moment. Let's see how this works out. That's oncoming traffic. Rock on. I don't want to put the camera out too far. Might lose it. Absolutely no agreement taking place before the man sat down. Another dude came and sat on the back of the bike, and he's also gonna pay a little bit too. So he's going the shorter distance than we are, and just like, hey, sit down, I'm going too. Like, it's just cool like that. It's almost like they know each other, but they don't. We are about to get on one of these buses and ride it overnight to another city, which I don't know the name of.
Banahoy.
Banahoy?
Something like that.
I don't know. So we're going somewhere, and we're going on one of these buses. And Manila is an amazing city. It's got like an extremely lively pulse, especially when like the evening starts to happen. Like in the middle of the day, I think everybody's inside working and avoiding the heat. But then once the sun goes down, this place is awesome. It's just got a really, really cool vibe. And I mean, it's similar to other Southeastern Asian countries, like big cities, but this one, there's something special about it. I don't know what it is. There's just like an extra tinge of what I think Katie explained as love. So like, I'm really, I wouldn't say I'm like not infatuated with this city, but I wouldn't mind exploring it some more, but it is kind of tense here. Like, it's kind of like, I found it was really easy to get comfortable in Bangkok, but this place is just so like, that might take a little bit more time, but very cool place. You did say love, yeah?
Oh, okay. You want me to explain the love? Let me get good lighting.
Oh yeah,
You
there
gotta
we go.
love the lighting too. I don't really know how to explain this, but other than just saying that you can feel that people love each other here. Husbands and wives are hanging out, families are hanging out. In the evenings, they're just sitting at parks playing together, laughing about what's happening and enjoying each other. And that is not something we've seen very much of lately. Living in Japan, you don't really see that so much. I see a lot of salarymen never seeing their families. So it's interesting to be around this love and feel that love, even though you're not part of it. It's
What do you mean you're not part of it, girl? Don't you love me?
You know, yeah, I'm part of that love, but their love isn't. It's big.
Let's get on this Honky Express and go overnight. Who's in the cage, you or me?
Hey everyone, we have a Patreon page and we'd really like for you to check it out. It'll allow you to contribute to us and make these crazy adventures we've been going on continue and get even better. So we'd really love for you to follow the link and learn more about Patreon and us. Go for it. Let's adventure.